Hello and welcome back to Note by Note. This is Victor Perez. Thank you for being here another week. Sorry for the delay today. I have been trying to fix the things, but honestly, I am quite overwhelmed with work, and I didn't have the time to test everything, and the microphone was just not working. So probably you're going to hear me slightly different today because yeah, I'm using the another microphone, the microphone of the camera. So I would like just to check if you can hear me well, first of all. So if you are in the chat, first of all, thank you for being here. Can you guys hear me well? I'm just going to wait for you to tell me because I don't want to have a session alone. So yeah, I guess you can hear me. So, um, so yeah, at this point, the microphone is not, yeah, is not making any difference for you, I guess. But anyway, I'm going to use it for this. So, how was the week? I hope everyone's having fun. So let's start by the most important thing, which is thanking Foundry for supporting this streaming one more week. As you can see, last week, for instance, I was in a recording because I was on a client review. So during the time of the streaming, and I was just trying different things. I remember I was quite tired when I was recording that, but I'm very proud of myself because I didn't skip another week. So it's just much better to do something than to think about doing something. So yeah, I did a session. It was what it was. I hope you enjoyed that. I was just trying to recreate reflections, and I created a that long. And so I was just playing around, not particularly interested in getting any results, but I was just trying things. And today maybe I'm just going to work with a few things about that. So um, before I continue today, I received a request from Miodra Colombo that he's doing a challenge online for compositing. So he was providing elements for people. I offer this streaming to announce the winners. So what I would like to do with you is like I put in here. Let me show the screen. I put in here the 6 entries that that was selected for the finalists. So you have six for the 3 places. Okay, I just put it in there. So I would like to see um, every entry. I'm not going to comment because I haven't had the authorization from anybody just to comment on this. So I'm just going to limit myself to show. Then you can just do your bets, whatever you want, and then I'm going to show you who are the winners. Okay, before I start with the streaming. So um, this entry is from Dewitt Miara. Okay, so this is the entry. Let's watch it make. Okay, let's have a look at the next one, which is from Honor Canjol. Everybody was using different techniques, so the output is completely different one from the other. Okay, let's have a look at this. This is from Fabrizio. Okay, the next one is from Kavi. Okay. Another one from Vaban. Okay. And last but not least, Hussein. Okay. So these are the 6 entries. Congratulations to everybody for participating. I think it's time to see the 3 winners. Okay. Um, I don't know about the awards, so I don't know what you are going to get. But first of all, I think it's just hopefully having fun with comp. So in the third place we have Pavan Dinkar. So he was this entry, this one. Okay, congratulations, sir, for your third place. Now let's have a look at the second place, which is Hussein Sai or Kai. I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't have that in Spanish. Sorry. So Hussein, here you are, and this is your second place. Okay, and the first place is for David Miara. So congratulations for the first place. You are in here. And this is the first place of that. So congratulations to everybody that has been participating, the finalists, and of course, the 3 lucky winners. I guess Mio will get in touch with you and will sort of the logistics of the thing. Okay. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for attending this, for seeing the uh, the winners, the announcement of the winners. Yeah. So this is the competition. Now I'm going to start with the usual business of this streaming, which is the novel art of me compositing, um, not knowing what's gonna happen mostly, which is part of the interesting of the fun of this. So let's start by opening, yeah, this one. I'm going to save right away a new version, and I would like to know from you guys, what would you like to see next? I really enjoy the theme of having comments. I received comments on the previous videos just to talk about different things. Yeah, about the reflections and that. Um, the question is, what would you like to see right now? So I'm going to give you a bit of time so you can post it uh, in the chat. I'm always keeping an eye on that. And in the meantime, I would like to try something I haven't tried on the recording of last week, which is I was trying to do projections, 3D projections, and it wasn't working for the reflections. So it wasn't generating the reflections. It was like a blank space. And I think, not sure, but I think it's maybe uh, because of the 3D projection, which is a shader and is not kind of baking the texture within the geometries like a UV project. So after I finished the recording, I was thinking like maybe if I change the projection with a UV projection, maybe that is going to change the outcome. So I just want to quickly try that. Just in order to get that, in the meantime, you are having ideas uh, just for you to give me ideas of what you would like to see. Is like the main difference between the Project 3D and the UV project is that the Project 3D is a shader, while the UV is actually a characteristic of the property of the geometry. So maybe because of the Project 3D, it was not capturing the reflection. And I say maybe because this is not, as I said, this is not the way I was trying. Usually, I tend to have for reflections a more 2D approach. And in here, just for the sake of having fun, which is the I mean, the main point of having this streaming, I wanted to try a more 3D, a more sophisticated way, just for that. So um, I'm going to try the UV project. And look, even the position of the nodes in the menu is already telling me that there are different things. You have in shader, you have the project 3D, here you are, and then you have modify. Modify is where you are going to find the UV project. So when you are changing the UV projection, I mean, when you are changing the UVs using a projection, you are actually modifying the geometry, a characteristic of that geometry. So I'm going to use the UV project. And the UV project, by the way, has a different workflow. In here, you have the project that is, connected in the input of the geometry, and then that is going to, all the way around. But in here, what we are going to do is a different thing. We are going to use the project 3D and going to the camera. So I don't need that anymore. Okay, I'm not even going to apply a material here. So this is the UV project. Let me see. Okay. Going to get another piece of geometry. Maybe it's going to be easier to understand. So, backward, for instance. So this is okay, this is the texture. This is the camera, and I'm going to connect this to the image. And the image is here. So as you can see, and I already saved, so I'm going to destroy this setup because it's getting already very crowded. So in here, I just went too far. I can actually go here. So in here, what I have is the image connected, and now the image is directly connected to the original, and then I'm using the UV project to instruct software how it needs to use that UV in relation to the image. In other words, it's just how to bake that projection into the geometry. So right now, with this, I'm just going to remove the apply material because I don't want to right now to have characteristics of materials or anything. It's just this map. So as you can see right now, this is the projection. So what happens is if I use a transform geo, something like this, as opposite as using the 3D project, the project 3D, in here, if I move the geometry, the projection is moving as well. Okay? So it's part of the geometry now. While in a workflow, and I'm just going to revert this just to show you with the project 3D. There you are. In here with the project 3D, if I move the geometry, transform geo. The projection is going to move to. Let me see if I am. Yeah, let's move on this direction. So here is not moving actually because is the projection that is baked in the position. Sorry, it's not baked. It's just remaining in the projection. Imagine like moving the screen of a cinema. The screen of a cinema is not containing the image, as opposite as moving a TV. If you move a TV, the image belongs to the TV. So if you move the TV, the image moves with the TV. But if you move the screen of a cinema, you are not moving the projector, you are just moving the screen. So the image is going to remain in the same position. It's just going to change the whatever the perspective of the screen. So it's exactly the same principle here. So while when using the project 3D, it's not going to be affecting the geometry. While using the UV project, you're actually changing the geometry. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all the apply materials in here. Yeah, so this is having a project 3D. The workflow is going to change. The result is not going to change in terms of the aspect of the projection. Of course, it's going to change for all the things. In here, again, project 3D. Here, here, this anymore. Let's move this over there. This, the wall. Okay. Let's move this here. Let's see the scene. There's still something in there. Okay, this is baked. This is the UV. So, of course, this is now not showing the image because I have an environment light. So let's have a look at this. Here you are. It is missing the flow because I'm sure I forgot the projection of the flow. Yeah, here you are. Okay. Now, oh, in there, something is rotten in Denmark. Uh, famous Shakespeare. That is the beginning of Hamlet. I think I already said that, so I'm repeating myself. Okay, so in here is paint. This is paint again, so I'm going to use the same wall in here, and that is going to be connected. That is baked. There is no UV projection. I can actually leave this with the same, but let me project this. Maybe it's going to work in here. Yeah. Same thing in here is losing the point of projection. And that is that other one. The image needs to be is that one, is projecting there, is painting something. So this was the one I'm painting. Go to paint, card, Let me suppress this. Get that there. Mm -mm -mm. Of course, I need it on the wrong side. Is this one. This one is the one that is being bothered right now. And it's because of this setup. So as soon as I put that, this is now working. It's just missing the painting bits. So in order to do that, I need to reconstruct the projection because this is made to bake the projection using a scanline render. So, okay, project 3D is a false project 3D, okay? Even if it looks like a project 3D, this is the image, this is the camera. I'm just going to apply material just to make it slightly less confusing. So I'm applying, this is a projection in here, is a live projection. From this point on, it's becoming baked. Why? Because now I'm modifying this and I'm getting this in the input of the image, which is now becoming perfectly a UV covering. So it's converting a project 3D into a UV project. Of course, you use this to paint. It's not like the regular. It would be much easier just to do that. But in here, because we need to unwrap the UV, paint on the UV, and re-wrap the UV, we use this. A project 3D, applying the material, scanline render. So now it's converted into sprites, into bitmaps. And now we paint, and then we reproject, and yes, it will take it into the scene like that. So that is the workflow for UV painting or orthogonal painting, whatever you want to call it. So in here, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to take this here. I don't need that. I'm going to place this there. And this image is not necessary there. I'm going to place it there. Project 3D, I don't need that. Apply the material in there. Reapplying the card. Here you are. Here you are. This is paint. Okay. Now that is the card. Here you are. So now you have, again, the projections. The theme is like, in this scene, if I move the scene now, so transform geo, if I move the scene, the projections, as you can see, are baked. So they are always in the same position, okay? You can visualize this in here because you can see that it's moving that camera 5. Remember that camera 5 is, let me see, camera 5. Let's search for that camera 5. Camera 5. There you go, camera 5. So the camera is moving together with the scene in here. So it's the same principle. It's like you are moving the source of the projection with that transform, because that is actually what you are. You see this is actually what is happening. You are moving the source of the projection together with the geometry itself. Okay, it's a way of visualizing that. So you are moving everything. While in a projection, you are not moving the camera. You are just moving the surface of that projection. So let me just try. Interesting, the floor now. Let me see the floor. Okay, floor is requiring exactly the same approach. So camera image. Yeah, yeah, okay. And in here is failing, of course, because it's missing this skyline render. I just canceled that. I deleted. So I don't remember what was the, but I'm going to copy from here. So, no, it was actually a direct projection. So it was a direct projection of that image. So it's not from there, it's from here. And the image to be projected is this one, which is going there, not in there. I know there are plenty of lines right now, and this is slightly confusing. Is part of the deal. You can remove the arrows, but it's going to be floating nodes in the middle of nowhere. That is even more confusing. So I prefer to keep it that way. Okay. This one, okay, I'm going to connect that one that belongs to the outside or not. We can let it outside. The main point is the reflections in there. So now, if we have this, that as you can see is behaving as the projections, now the question is, how can I capture the reflections in here? So I'm just going again to try. This has been about reflections since the last one. So I'm going to try to capture the reflections by using a very simple thing, a sphere. And I'm going to apply a material, so basic material. And the basic material is just going to be very reflective. So 1, and here is 0, 0. Is pure specular. So if I put this sphere and I'm going to move it there. This is supposed to be a reflective sphere. It's not reflecting anything. Let's try with the right tracer. Right enter. Here, 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 um, basic material. I just want to make sure the basic material specularity. Yeah, it's not capturing anything in there. Yeah, I'm afraid it's not reacting as in a 3D package. If you have, you can have the reflection for the geometries and all of that. And here we don't. So let's try with this environment light. If I apply this, let's Let's simplify. Let's just apply scene, environment light, sphere. Okay. So it's irrelevant the position of the environment light. It's always going to use just the angle of the map that is in there for the orientation of the normal of the face of the geometry. So the faces are just going to be calculating the angle that is going to be visualized in there. So this is going to require this, this, and of course the format. And here you are. So the reflection is working using this reflection catch, okay? Because the sphere has that reflectiveness. This is like a mirror ball right now. In here, should be behaving the same way, but it's not. I mean, it is, but you don't have the lighting of the rest because you don't have any kind of interaction. As soon as I release that, you're going to have the contrary effect. So the uh, the environment light is just offering this kind of reflections, but the reflection, the reflectiveness of the materials inside Nuke is not going to reflect the the geometries that are around. It's not even working with the right render. So I guess for that you will need, for instance, the PR renderman, the photorealistic renderman. Um, I don't have much experience with this. I found that installing the license of renderman is too complicated to be simple. Of course, you don't need like a, I mean, it's not super complicated, but it's just long and uncomfortable. And to be honest with you, I never need it. Never. Because if I want a good render, I'm just going to ask the render to be done in the 3D package. I'm not going to render in Nuke, not yet. And I'm doing this because with the new USD and the transition of Nuke into a more formal 3D package is beginning. So I can feel even with the beta, if you have a look, there is a lot of things that are improving, and it's super cool because it's compatible with other softwares of 3D. So there is a road into this transition. Still, right now, at the present time, I would say that is not my cup of tea, just to go in Nuke and re-render something. Still, these kind of problems that we have right now with not getting reflectiveness and these kind of things is actually going to be solved in using USD. So you are going to have a more robust 3D system that is going to allow you for all of this. So it's going to be easier for integration at the end of the day. So that is something to keep in mind. Right now, the tools that we have are the ones that I'm showing you here. This, the reflectiveness of this thing. So, can we apply this at the end of the day with the shots? Because that is what I want to do. I mean, this is not just theory. I want something to be working for my reflections or for something like that. This is just exploration, of course. This exercise at this very point is just becoming very experimental, but it's all good. I'm just pressing into an area that I don't have much experience and I consider is actually quite interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try something something borderline. I'm just going to generate a whole geometry of the scene as I have it right now. And I'm going to make it completely reflective, just to have this environment to get all the reflections. For doing that, I'm going to need, again, to replicate the whole system, because I'm just going to leave it there. So put it there. I'm going to copy, paste. It's just because I don't want to complicate even more this thing, and that is getting already something there. So I'm just going to start by removing any sort of texture. I don't want any texture for this. I just want like mirror things. So I just want the geometry. So this is, what is this? What is actually this? This is a sphere. Ah, okay, the dome. This is the dome. I'm not going to use the dome. I don't need it because I don't want to create the reflections of those. So this is out, gone, gone, gone. I don't need this, not this, no, that, definitely. No, that, no, definitely not. Here, yeah. Okay, I'm going to remove that. I don't sphere, I don't this, I don't that. It's not helpful. The sphere again, not necessary. That is gone. So I have my projector in here. Do I need the projector? No. Do I need the image? Not really. So do I need this to be connected to anything? Absolutely not. Why? It's because I'm not going to use any map. I'm just going to capture just that, the characteristic of reflection, just just pure reflection. So I'm going to use that and this. Hopefully I still have everything. Now, instead of adding everything to the scene, I'm just going to add all of that as one geometry. So I'm going to merge geo, modify merge geo. Everything is now a geometry. So what I'm going to do is apply a material. So basic material, no diffuse, 100% specular, and no shine base at all. Material, oops. This, this, and this is that reflectiveness. So what I need now is to connect this to the camera, to the geo, to the environment light. By the way, the position again, the position, because I think in the video I said something that wasn't clear enough. Is irrelevant the position of the environment. What matters is the rotation in an environment light, because is what that source is here. So, oh, hi Roberto. Roberto is tomorrow is attending Mundos Digitales in Spain. So yeah, enjoy Mundos Digitales, Roberto. I will miss it. So well, they didn't call me, so yeah, I would love to go if they call me again. I was there a few years ago, but yeah, I need a life. That is the truth. Right now, I'm really struggling to have a life. So yeah, maybe next year. So again, let's see what is the reflection. And this is the environment reflection of all of that. So what about, let's see what is not reflecting. So this is reflecting, this is reflecting, that is not reflecting. I'm going to try something, and I'm going to rotate 180 degrees, because maybe the normals are just, so let's do one at the time. So the wall in here, there is something in there. Maybe I just need to rotate that, because there are certain areas that are black. So no, this geometry is not working. So let's see. Let's see, what is this? Every time something is not working is a great opportunity to understand how Nuke works. So we understand why something is actually not working as expected. And in there, you're going to understand something in the logic of the software. So in here, I can see, first of all, that there is nothing in that. See that these walls are just reflecting something, some sort of light. In there, there is no light, and that is already an indication of something. So I'm going to rotate. Let's rotate. Let's see, 2.3. I'm going to copy this. Okay, so that is going to be interesting. So I'm going to add 180 degrees. Then I'm going to translate. Can you see that now it's reflecting? Of course, it's going to be in the wrong place, okay? But it's reflecting. So what was going on? Well, it was, I mean, it now covered by something, I guess. Yeah, there is a ceiling in there because it's in the wrong place. But what was happening before? It was the normals were flipped. So we were looking at the back of the of the of the car. Yeah, in the back of the car you see all in black. There is no indicator right now in the 3D, and that would be amazing to have it. So Foundry, if you guys are listening, yeah, this is something. I mean, of course, it's something that you can always guess, but it would be really nice to have a vector to tell you, hey, the normals are in there. Usually the normals are going to be aligned with the gizmo of transformation in 3D, but it would be nice just to have the representation for normals. Who knows? Maybe they are listening, and maybe we will have it, or maybe it's planned already for the new system. So I'm just going to return this to that state because I was not taking any care of that. The problem is, since I was moving the the cards directly without using a system of transform geos, now flipping the normals is going to be kind of a complicated things because I will need to find trigonometry just for it's too complicated. So in order to flip that and still preserving the position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a transform geo. I'm going to do just for the ceiling, I guess. Transform geo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all the transformations that we have in the card are now going to be there. So It's going to be easy. There is no animation, so this, 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 also that, and this one. Okay. So now the transform geo is going to move the card, and what I need to do is just set to default, set to default, set to default, set to default, and set to default. So the position is exactly as before, with the only difference that before the card was containing the transformation. Now is the transformation are in here. So now what I can do very easily is just to flip the the card like this. So I'm going to use 180. There you go. Look at the difference. Bing, bing. So this is what you need to do in order to flip while maintaining the same position. So I can do this for all of that. I'm actually going to do it because I just want to test what's going on in here. So I'm going to transform Geo. In the meantime, remember that you can always subscribe. That is going to be a very, very good thing. And you can also support me on any media that you have in that link. For instance, you can buy me a coffee if you find this interesting. I really appreciate your support because I'm doing this for you. So yeah, if you find it interesting, just why not to get me a coffee? It's like interesting, okay, approach. Okay, and if you want, remember that you can have always a session with me if you want to discuss any kind of problems that you have with compositing or career mentorship or anything. And I'm going to be there for you. You can book the sessions. You have in there the link on the chat. And if you want to learn more about lighting, again, you have the Master of Light. And I'm going to preserve this 50% discount until the summer break, because we are going to have a summer break. Is particularly in August, I'm not going to be streaming, and I will return in September for the streaming. So in August, yeah, I'm going to have a live that is interesting also. But I'm going to keep the discount until the end of the holidays. So still, I think we have four more streaming videos for this season. So yeah, let's get back to this. Let's do exactly the same thing. I need to copy this in there, there. The question is, can you use Python for this? Yes, you can, but I'm going to take less time just for doing this. Okay, now the card is going to be set to default, set to default, set to default, set to default, and set to default. Okay, now let's just rotate 180 degrees. Okay, you go. It's getting the light. So that is an indicator that is catching that environment lighting. Now this wall, same thing. Transform view. In the meantime that I'm doing this, if you want to drop me a line in here in the comments of the video in order to let me know if you like this, what I'm doing, or if you want to see something in particular about this shot, just yeah, drop me a line in here. I'll be happy. So okay, this this, and that, and now it's going to be set to default, set to default. Why was happening? Why was this value there? Okay, maybe maybe I lost something. Anyway, set to default. Set to default. There is an arrow that is telling me that there is a hmm. Mm, mm, mm. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. So David said that the normal node can invert the normals. Yeah, yeah. Let's have a look. So modify normals, action, invert. Yeah, actually, you're right. So yeah, you have another faster and healthier way of doing this thing. So let's use the flow. Oh, the flow is not working. Or maybe it is, and I cannot visualize that. So I'm going to use this. Oh no, is this working? It is working. That wasn't working. Let's see if now this is reflecting. It is reflecting. It's just weird. What is reflecting? So it's normal because um, not all the areas were covered. So there are like black areas, remember? That's why if I rotate, I get things. But the sense of scale in all of this is just completely lost. There is no proportion of the relation between the reflection of something and the size, the distance. It's not an angular reflection here at all. So just by not having that is, yeah, it's not working. Is just creating something, but is this something good enough? To be completely honest with you, no, it is not. So I'm just trying to use the the 3D in order to create a logic of the space. But if I don't have the instruments that respect the logic of the space, I'm just wasting my time. So that's why I prefer to go with the cheating way, which is the 2D way. And the 2D way is just going to take any way that you have in here, in this area, just to replicate this other. So I can even get this projection in there, inverted or something like that. So yeah, something to invent. So for me, this exercise that I was doing in here today was just more to play with the notes, to understand what's going on. It was like a bit of a troubleshooting. Yeah, I forgot about the normal note that you can flip the normals also in Nuke. This is something very common in 3D packages, but yeah, I forgot. And yeah, of course. So thank you, David, for the shout out about that. But as you can see, the 3D way is missing a few parts. But As soon as we are going to have a full integration, you are going to see in the next version of Nuke, in the 16, I'm completely sure you are going to have way more integrations of the migration into the 3D space. You are going to have an easier way to get this kind of spatial um, assistance of the 3D space playing with the 2D space. So it's not meant just for doing the lighting and all of that, but to have the 3D space to interact with the 2D elements that you can have and recreate also these kind of things that are reflections and projections and reflections and all of that. So I will say that I spent already 2 sessions talking about the reflections and trying to get, and you saw that the difference between the UV and all that, but it's not something that is going to become very helpful for this. If we were playing something, let me see if I can get the bunny. The bunny is going to be helpful. Bunny, OBJ, because I think I have an element, bunny obj, which is in the, here you go, this one. So I'm going to get it, the bunny object. This is in tools. I'm going to place it in here for the time being in the desktop, or much better, I'm actually going to place it in my environment of Nuke. So it's going to be in the dot Nuke in here. So this is the bunny. Let me see. I just lost here. So the bunny is an element. It's a very famous piece of geometry. So real geo, and it's made for that. It's for testing purposes. So bunny, bunny, bunny. Here you are. Okay. Is this geometry? So if I connect this bunny with this material, instead of having the sphere, of course I need to position. So transform geo. I'm going to the camera so I can see. And now, let's put that. I'm going to place the bunny in the scene. So in relation with this scene, so I can see the bunny. Oof, it's huge. Yeah, it's a bit too much. So as a witness or a testimony of this element that I have been playing with, the reflections and all of that, I think it's going to be a good idea just to leave this bunny there to have to play with the scene. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to kill the sphere because I don't need the sphere anymore. So this one. And I'm just going to keep the bunny. Let's copy the bunny also here. Of course, you don't have the the reflections in here. So I'm going to remove that. And this is going to become there. this, and that. So this is the reflection of the bunny in there. It's a bit chaotic, okay? It doesn't have all the. So let's try to a more alias theme, but it seems like a yeah. Just trying to see if I can do anything. Oh, the specularity is 4, it's not 1. Now it's reflecting in the right. Now it's like full chrome. So now it's reflecting all the areas of this wall. It's a bit strange. But you know, it's an element and it's reacting to the reflections. But it's not true, it's not reacting to the reflections, it's that reacting to the position of this reflection catcher. So in order to make the reflection to be realistic with this element, and this is what I want to use for closure of this interesting technique, is that this axis, which is representing the position of the center of the reflection catcher, should be at the center of this rabbit or bunny. So what I'm going to do is that, have you noticed that I use, where is the bunny? Here you are. This transform geo. I was using the transform geo in order to position the rabbit in somewhere in the scene. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that and I'm going to use this axis. Wait, why is not? Okay, I was using the wrong one. Set. Yeah, now I'm going to use this axis and I'm going to connect the axis to this other axis. So now this is the center of the position for the reflections and the rabbit. So the rabbit is getting right now is having the reflections perfectly aligned. Of course, it's not having all the details of proximity and all of that, more or less, but now the thing is like, if I move, for instance, I'm going to put this on the floor, and if I move something in here, see, the reflection is going to react. Not much, but it's supposed to be closer, see? Because of course, it's not reacting at all right now because I need to connect this image. So this map should be connected here. And now I'm going to take, yeah, it was straight, it was so fast. And we are calculating here a lot of information. So now this is a live representation. Now see, now it is reacting. Now, if I move, so sorry about that, I didn't realize I was making the thing. So if I move this there, you're going to have also a response of the reflection. So this will be like a more accurate way of getting the reflections. Okay, but still, it's faking the reflections. It's not perfectly accurate, but it's accurate enough because I'm just getting this. Let me put it in here. I'm just getting this. This is the reflection catcher. Of course, in there is not realistic, so but it's behind, so it's not going to be affecting much. But in here, you are getting kind of a good reflection. Of course, you are not getting anything on the front because there is nothing. But still, the thing is like you can always put something there, you can replicate that, you can invert, you can, because also you have in here like yeah, an alpha that is indicating the areas that are not placing anything. So you can play in many, many ways. So this is, at the end of the day, this is the thesis of the reflections. It's like, yeah, there is always a way. But you have to calculate, is this way actually helping, or is just taking a horrible amount of time for something that is not needed? Well, that is something that only you can say, depending on the project that you are working, depending on the needs, depending on how important is that reflection and the result of the geometry that you have. So there are many, many things that are going to influence the outcome. The important for me is that is is doing the job. Do you have options? Because that is the most important. Sometimes you need to go the hard way, and you need to go the hard way. There is no other way. So yeah, by having different options, you can always decide. You can always use the brute force, the muscle of going something as complicated as that. That at the end of the day is not even that complicated. I have this as a setup, as a something that a preset set of tools, um, and you can just call that. But the thing is, like, remember the key elements in here is the cubical camera setup, which is this set of cameras that I had in here. Remember that from the previous session, and the use of the environment, and using these parameters of the basic material just to get the specularity. You can just guess. I mean, it's just specularity 1 and the rest is 0. So this is like full reflective material. And then you mix that with whatever you want. You can, if you have, for instance, the render, and you can use the diffuse, you can create this extra layer of reflections, and then you can post-process these, whatever. The possibilities are infinite, as you can imagine. But the important is like what to do with this is an extra, another resource. You can always fake reflections. So let me just put in here. I'm going to use the notch, which is very, very soft. It's going to help. Cubic, let's use the impulse just to see. It's not okay. Multi-samples, something like that. So now it's not only capturing the reflections, but it's also using 5 times, so 5 samples in order to smooth the areas, to give more detail. I mean, more detail is just to describe the geometry better, but have a look at the time that it's taking. So this is what I mean. Maybe the result is going to be very cool, but sometimes faking it is going to be cheaper, and it all depends on what you need. So this is what I mean. See, now the samples are going to help the smoothness of this geometry. That is that worthing the time instead of that. Because remember, I'm a big fan of blur. So just go with that. Is that good enough? Well, probably it is. If not, you have options. So this is the point of all of this, and just exploring ways and just showcasing problems and finding solutions. But this is the thing, is like, remember that compositing is mostly a 2D art that is using 3D resources, and they are great. But if you try to maintain a 3D logic for everything, you are just going to consume all your resources. I said this a few times, and it's like quick and dirty. Quick and dirty is a very healthy way of finding your way. So you just try to do it fast, approximative. And then there is always time to refine, always time if you have the time. But if not, at least you have something working. And if this rabbit was supposed to be like chrome material, yeah, you need this kind of faking material. But you don't have much details. Maybe can you paint that? Can you use vectors? Can you use copycat to fake that? So there are different ways. I just leave up to you to decide what is the best. So it's it's always that. There is not a universal best. It's just what works best for that particular shot in that particular moment. So the reflections of the walls probably are not going to work that way. And if you like, you can post it in the comments and I can just try to approach a way of creating the reflections in a 2D way, the reflections of the walls. In the meantime, I'm going to leave this nice bunny in there to be part of the scene, just to be a reminder that we spent a bit of time with this, and actually, it's not that even that bad. Okay, this is now becoming a bit of surrealist. So, so yeah, I'm just going to leave it here. I'm going to save. Um, yeah, that's all for this week. I'm going to see you next week with another set of things. Post in the comments what you want to see for this exercise. I don't know, maybe I can change the shot. I can do something else, but I mean, I still believe there is so much we can do with this shot. We have been just going around other things, but there is so much, so much that we can just for the purpose of doing. And you know what is super nice, that I'm just taking this as what you should take actually any work that you are doing. This is practice. It's practice for the next one. So for the next one, now I know something more, something I have been troubleshooting thing. So this is so nice. I have no pressure, even if I am streaming for all of you and leaving the recording in there for posterity for forever. But I don't mind because this is who I am. I don't have anything to hide. I'm human. There are things that I know. There are things that I don't know, and there are things that I don't know that I don't know. So I'm just doing this and sharing because that is at the end of the day what art is about. Just a conversation about things that we like. So with this reflection, I'm going to leave you here. By the way, a reflection about talking about reflections, it sounds like a pun, but it wasn't intended. So thank you very much for being here. Another week for sharing the love for compositing, and I'm going to see you next week. Until then, this has been Victor Perez for Note by Note. Be good, not too much because it's boring, and I see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. GMT. Take care.